it's me again, Monica, and I have some more stories to read today. Since it was Canada Week, I wanted to do some Canada-themed stories. So we have a book called From Far Away by Robert Munsch, and this is a super cool one because it grew out of a series of letters that Sayezin, who was 7 at the time, wrote to him, and she immigrated from Beirut in Lebanon when she was 5 years old. And he says, we wrote this story together, which I think is beautiful. And it was illustrated by Michael Marchenko, who was born in France and moved to Toronto. So it's kind of a story about being an immigrant in Canada. From Far Away by Robert Munsch and Sayezin Asghar. Dear reading buddy, my teacher suggested that I write to you. I will tell you about myself. My name is Sayezin. I am 7 years old, and I am in grade 2 now. I come from far away. The place we used to live was very nice, but then a war started. Even where my sister and I slept, there were holes in the wall. Finally, one day there was a big boom and part of our roof fell in. My father and mother said, there is no food and we are getting shot at. We have to leave. My father left and was gone for a long time. Then a letter came with plane tickets to Canada. I did not know anything about Canada, but the next day I was on a plane going there. As soon as the plane moved, I got sick. I stayed sick for the whole trip, which was 2 days long. I didn't like it. Nobody wanted to sit near me. Once we got to Canada, my father took me to a school and left me there after he showed me the girls' bathroom. He said, be good and listen to your teacher. So I was good, and I listened to my teacher, only I didn't know what she was saying because she did not know how to talk right. So I just sat and listened. Children were trying to talk to me, but I was not able to answer them because I didn't speak English. When I wanted to go to the washroom, I didn't know how to say, I want to go to the washroom. That's why I used to crawl to the door when the teacher turned her head and looked at the other side of the room. When someone opened the door, I crawled out and went to the washroom. When I came back from the washroom, I waited beside the door. When someone opened the door, I crawled back in and went to my desk. Once I crawled to the washroom and saw a Halloween skeleton, only I did not know what Halloween was. I thought the skeleton was evil. I thought that people were going to start shooting each other here. I screamed a very good scream. Ah! Everybody came running out of the rooms. They thought someone was being killed in the bathroom. My teacher opened the washroom door and tried to tell me that it was Halloween time and the skeleton is paper. I didn't understand her, and I didn't know what Halloween was. She jumped up and down and danced around to explain to me that Halloween is just fun, but I thought the skeleton made her crazy and I screamed louder. Then she hugged me to make me feel better. I felt as if my mother was hugging me. Then I went and sat by the front door of the school till my father came and got me. I had decided that the whole school was crazy and I did not want to stay there. When my father came, he told me about Halloween and said that people here are not going to start shooting each other. I had bad dreams about skeletons for a long time after that, but finally I began to talk little by little. I learned enough English to make friends, and school started to be fun. Now I am in grade 2, 3, and I am the best reader and speller in the class. I read and write a lot of stories. The teacher is now complaining that I never shut up. This year when it was Halloween, I wore a mask and we had a party at school. Then I went with my sister trick-or-treating to the neighbors. We got candy, and nobody shot at us the whole time. I decided that Canada is a nice place, and I changed my name from Sayezin to Susan, but my mother told me to change it back. The kindergarten teacher moved from our school, but sometimes when I see her in the mall, I run to her and I hug her, and I wish she was still my teacher. She was my first teacher in kindergarten, and she helped me a lot. Goodbye, Sayezin. And our other one, I only have 2 today. I wanted to have 3, but the library it didn't come in time, which made me sad. My other one was called Goodnight Canada, and I can put the name of it with the video. So if your parents decide to put it on hold at the library, you can read it too. And my other book is called When We Were Alone by David A. Robertson and illustrated by Julie Flett, I think. But maybe they both wrote it. Never mind, I was wrong. David Alexander Robertson and Julie Flett. Today I held my kokum in her flower garden. She always wears colorful clothes. It's like she dresses in rainbows. When she bent down to prune some of the flowers, I couldn't even see her because she blended in with them. She was like a chameleon. Nokam, why do you wear so many colors? I asked. Nokam said, well, Nosisim. When I was your age, at home in my community, my friends and I wore many different colors. But at the school I went to, far away from home, they gave us different clothes to wear. All the children were dressed the same, and our clothes weren't colorful at all. We all mixed together like storm clouds. Why did you have to dress like that? I asked. They didn't like that we wore such beautiful colors, Nokam said. They wanted us to look like everybody else. But sometimes in the fall, when we were alone and the leaves had turned to their warm autumn hues, we would roll around on the ground. We would pile the leaves over the clothes they had given us, and we would be colorful again, and this made us happy. Now, Nokam said, I always wear the most beautiful colors. After I helped with the flowers, we went over to the back gate. There were vines covering the gate, and they reached all the way to the ground. When my kokam turned to fix the latch, I saw that her braid hung almost as low as the vines. It was like she had a tail. Nokam, why do you wear your hair so long? I asked. Nokam said, well, Nosisim. When I was your age, at home in my community, my friends and I grew our hair long, just like our people have always done. It made us feel strong and proud. But at the school I went to, far away from home, they cut off all our hair. Our strands of hair mixed together on the ground like blades of dead grass. Why did you have to wear your hair like that? I asked. They didn't like that we were proud, Nokam said. They wanted us to be like everybody else. But sometimes in the spring, when we were alone and the grass had grown so long and thick in the field, we would pick the blades from the ground. We would braid them into the short hair they had given us, and we would have long hair again, and this made us happy. Now, Nokam said, I always wear my hair very long. After my kokam had fixed the latch, I followed her to the birdhouse. There was a bird flying through the air like a jingle dress dancer. She fed the bird and whispered, and her words sounded just like a poem. Nokam, why do you speak in Cree? I asked. Nokam said, well, Nosisim. When I was your age, at home in my community, my friends and I always spoke our language. But at the school I went to, far away from home, they wouldn't let us speak our words. All the children used their strange words, and we didn't understand them at all. Our voices blended together like a flock of crows. Why did you have to talk in their language? I asked. They didn't like that we spoke our language, Nokam said. They wanted us to talk like everybody else. But sometimes in the summer, when we were alone and our teachers weren't anywhere around the place we were, we would whisper to each other in Cree. We would say all the words we weren't allowed to say so that we wouldn't forget them, and this made us happy. Now, Nokam said, I always speak my language. After our gardening work was done, I sat with my kokam in the backyard. Her brother came over and sat with us. He comes over all the time. We drank tea and ate bannock. The tea was hot and sweet, and the bannock was moist and warm and melted in my mouth. My kokam and my uncle talked and laughed like children. Nokam, why do you and Nokamis always spend time together? I asked. Nokam said, well, Nosisim. When we were your age, at home in our community, being with family was the most important thing. We played with each other, did chores together, and shared everything. But at the school I went to, far away from home, they wouldn't let us be together. My brother and I were separated like day and night. Why were you and Nokamis separated? I asked. They didn't like when we were with family, Nokam said, because when we were together, we thought too much of home. But sometimes in the winter, when we were alone and we were sure that nobody could see us, we would find each other. We would take off our mitts, and in the crisp, cold air, we would hold hands so we could be with each other, and this made us happy. Now, Nokam said as she reached over and held my uncle's hand and mine, I am always with my family. And that is it. That's all I have. Thank you for joining me. I have to turn this off again. I'm not great at it. I hope you have a lovely weekend.